like everything that I discussed has nothing to do with non-duality. Like it's a completely different topic, and again, it's all just a story. Like there's no one here that thinks a certain way, that has an opinion, that's more, that has more integrity or more or higher moral values than another. Like that all is just bullshit. Like there is no one who, there is no separation. Like this is just all complete wholeness already. Cool.
Right. And we're back.
Had a little bit of a hiatus, which was, I guess, kind of nice.
Yeah, a little bit of body life things coming the way.
Yeah. Where have you been? Other than sick.
Nah, I've been pretty good, I mean, uh, so recovering from some sort of stomach flu slash maybe rhinovirus thing. I'm on the upswing with that, thankfully. A big moment. I got my storage unit closed out, just something I've been trying to do for 6 months. No longer do I have a box of possessions way out 25 miles away that I pay way too much for to keep. Uh,
Yeah.
and I mean, honestly, I had my yearly performance review at work, and I was told that I'm doing great. And
Awesome.
yeah, which was a surprise.
Yeah.
I'm always get surprised when that happens because it doesn't, it's just like any other meeting, I guess, with my boss. And then she's like, "Oh, well, here it is." So that was nice.
Yeah.
What about
Great.
you?
I've been doing well. Yeah. It's starting to warm up here a little bit. I spent a couple days doing some walks. There's some really nice trails around the new house here
Nice.
that me and Christine explored together, and then I went out one day with Sam and Omar. It got cold again, but it looks like it's going to start warming up, and I'm hoping it stays that way because I'm itching to get my kayak out again.
Yeah,
So,
nice, nice.
so like yeah, if you when you come up here in April, yeah, if it's warm enough, we'll have to go out on the kayak because I've
Oh
been wanting to
yeah,
do that with
yeah,
you.
yeah. That'd be cool. I remember we
It's a
talked about that a couple times, but it was always too cold when I got up there.
Yeah. Yeah, before we get started, yeah, I guess we could make the announcement. I just wanted to, anybody who might be listening, I don't know if anybody listens to these things or not, but yeah, I'm extending an invitation to come into me and Christine's home for dinner and non-duality talks. But yeah, I mean, like, the only thing really on offer is dinner. Other than that, there's just
And it's good dinner. I'll say that. I can vouch for that.
yeah.
It's delicious.
But yeah, anyone is welcome to come. It doesn't matter. Just reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. If we're not friends on Facebook, just friend me and send me a message. Usually, I accept a friend request if you look legit and you don't look like you have a fake account or something. but um, but yeah, it should be fun. And Blaine's going to be there. He's going to be coming all the way up from where he lives on the East Coast, and so yeah, it should be a good time. Hope to see you there. Hope we only have 5 spots. I don't want to have more than that because we only have so many chairs at the dinner table. So, um,
Yeah, it's a
but
real legitimate restriction.
yeah, Christine's a great cook. You're gonna love it. She's from the Philippines, if you don't know, and so yeah, I mean she won me over with her food, and yeah, so I'm sure she will too. And she loves to cook for a large gathering. So yeah, I mean it should be fun, and I hope we see some people there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's just the first time I think that we're kind of dipping our toes into making something happen face to face, or making nothing happen, haha. And I think it's a good thing. I think things are a lot more fun when they can be, you know, with that physical presence. But uh, for a lot of reasons, that's not always possible. So if you can
Yeah,
come and make it, please uh, just let us know, and we'd love to have you. And hopefully, there'll be some more things like this too.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, we have a topic for this week. I guess we'll kind of figure out a title for this video. Um, like a
Come
couple
up
weeks
with
back.
another one of your crazy thumbnails.
Yeah. Did you like that?
I did. I was like, I gotta lose some weight and match my
No, you look
thumbnail.
good. I tried to use the best picture I could find of you. Like you look great in that photo. Way better than me, anyway. I just found like some random one of me, but yeah. I mean,
You look
AI.
like the Wizened Mountain Man. It's a good look. It's a good look.
Yeah. I mean, these AI image generators, like they make it so easy now. Like you don't even have to do anything in Photoshop. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. I thought we'd talk about like a couple weeks ago or 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't know. Like it seemed like something came up that wanted to be discussed, and it's been a few weeks now, so I may have to kind of wrap my head more around it because I'm not really sure what was coming up there. But yeah, I mean, there just seems to be a lot going on, in the U.S. and yeah, there's a lot that can seem to be a distraction, really,
Hmm.
and it seems really easy to like kind of get pulled in and get sucked into what seems to be happening here,
Right.
in the U.S. and the story here with politics and the division and everything. It can seem really real, and it can cause a lot of frustration and discomfort, and you know all sorts of things.
Yeah.
You know, um, but yeah. So like I guess the topic is like morality. Um, in a sense of integrity too, and I mean, non-duality doesn't suggest anything. It doesn't suggest that there is certain a morality to uphold.
Right.
Um, it doesn't. It has no application. Like there's the message is there is nothing applicable. Like there's no one doing anything. So like, but at the same time, like that doesn't like mean that you can get away with anything, or you can just or it's not a cop out, like in a way. Like I mean, here there always seemed to be like a sense of morality, like or a sense of integrity. It was just kind of built into the character, I think.
Hmm.
And so like I'm not like ignorant to what seems to be happening here, and how it kind of stirs up everything. It's a very like energetic thing here that's happening within our country,
Right.
and but it that is but that energetic flow, energy is never what it seems to be.
Hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's and so like it can easily become something real, something solid, and something that I need to do something about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm not saying that something shouldn't be done about it, but at the same time, like there can just be this sense or feeling that as a liberal, or as a moral person, or as a person with integrity,
Right.
I have a responsibility to do something about this chaos, this seeming chaos, in this administration that's murdering children essentially, and causing genocide and all kinds of horrid things. And yes, like these things are like horrid, but at the same time, like there's no right or wrong with anything. Um, but yeah. So I guess I don't know where I'm kind of going with this,
Yeah. No. 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 Yeah.
and it's not really going anywhere really. But because it's always just what is like, and if there is like a need or sense or urgency to like speak out or protest or go to yeah, or write your senator or something, like that's it. That's just what seems to be happening. Like there's nothing right or wrong with that either.
Right.
But it just like the whole like chaos of or this seeming chaos that seems to be happening. It can take on a life of its own. Like in a way, like it almost wants you to grab a hold of it, to make it real, to bring it to life. Like
Right.
and here I guess like it seems here there's just a tendency, less of a tendency to want to engage with this flow of energy. Um, but at the same time, that I'm not um, ignoring it either. Like it's hard to ignore, right? Like I mean, especially if you're on Facebook or social media, like it's everywhere. And I have many friends who felt the need to like engage and say something, speak up about something. Here, it just seems more like less. It seems like there's less of a tendency to want to engage in this play, which essentially is what it is. Like the whole political game and everything. I think that was kind of always seen as very as very fake.
Right.
And it was kind of a circus, like not even not it just never was what it seemed really. Like it never really seemed important here. It never really seemed to touch a life or have an impact. So there was never like any voting or anything. I never engaged in it, but there was always like a certain interest, and I think that interest was just, I don't know. I think it was hard to say. Like I guess it's just a fascination with how deep the rot goes. Like
Yeah.
and and how much of a how easy it is for people. Like it's so fascinating to me how easy it is for people to get sucked into something like this when it's just a story.
Right.
Like it's not really. And maybe like at some point it seemed like it was much more than that, but yeah, I mean, like here it's just seen as completely illusory. Like it's just a story. Like there's no like real division. Any division is simply illusory. Like it's and so to engage in that, it feels like there is a play in this illusion. Like it just doesn't feel right here to like engage with it, and in a way it almost feels better. Like I don't want to say better, but I don't know, it's just how it feels here.
Yeah.
To remain a neutral observer, I guess. And it doesn't, and it really truly, like it doesn't seem to matter like who wins or who loses really.
Right.
It's unfortunate, like what the consequences of of the seeming consequences, I should say. Like there's no real consequences, but like, yeah, I mean, there is a preference for like there to be no genocide, or like there's no
Right.
war.
No police state, maybe.
Yeah, no police state. Like, and then for everyone to be, have a sense of security and well being, and but it seems like it's becoming more and more difficult for people to have that here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Like,
yes, so I mean, like, but everybody's so different, like like everything that I discussed has nothing to do with non-duality. Like yeah, it's just a completely different topic. And again, it's all just a story. Like there's no one here that thinks a certain way, that has an opinion, um, that's more, that has more integrity or more or higher moral values than another. Like that all is just bullshit. Like there is no one who, there is no separation. Like this is just all complete wholeness already. And to me, I guess, instead of engaging in something that seems so divisive, um, expressing this wholeness seems a far more better use of my time in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
you know,
mean, um, I think you touched on something really, important. Hold on, I got a cough. And that's that, like a lot of the stuff that we see in the so-called exterior world, it's a very real projection of this sort of complications and complicated nature that
yeah,
seems to be carried around in the body pretty prevalently today.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so when you say that, I mean, in other words, you're basically saying, here's this hurricane, right? It's got all this energy, it's spinning, am I really going to change the direction of the hurricane by putting
yeah.
more energy into it, or is it just going
Right.
to feed off that and spin in the same direction faster, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. I love that analogy. Yeah,
And
that's
and
perfect.
and even consider if we could spin the hurricane in another direction, it's still a fucking hurricane.
Yeah,
It's still gonna destroy things. It's still gonna be out of control, right? And I think if you look at history, whatever history is, before you get, super hypothetically metaphysical about it, there are clear instances of a whole people pushing the pendulum from one side back to the other and
mm,
taking a victimhood and becoming the perpetrators of that same victimhood and on and on.
yeah, yeah,
So, I think what we're discussing here is the, really legitimate question of if everything's already whole and there truly is no separation, what do we make of all this seeming conflict that we see in the world amongst people?
yeah,
And it's a tough thing because it's not something that can be addressed from, framing a worldview in a different way or even enlarging the lens, try to encompass, what this other person thinks with what you think. Um, because then you're relating again, you're back on the level of the individual, the person, the observer here who is trying to correct the actor there. Um,
yeah. No, no, beautiful. I agree. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
go ahead, sorry.
I mean, there's nothing that can be done. Um, but in the doing, if there is like a sense of needing to do something about it, I mean, that's it too. But at the same time, like, you know, it can come from this place of separation, this
Mhm.
feeling um, that energizes this sense of things being separate. Um, and so for me, like, it seems being still, it seems like there's a lot of power in just being still,
Hmm.
um, more so than even taking some form of action. I mean, action can happen, but, and action can be still.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's like but there just can't be a sense. There is no sense of like a person here that does anything. And but when something does arise, like when a need to do something does arise, there's nothing wrong with it either, and there's no resisting it. And it's, but it feels more it's more of a flow. There's no one here resisting it.
Right.
No sense of a person here, so it too is just fully allowed to come up. But when there is that, if there is still that sense of being a person, um, it to me, like, I mean, that too is just this, like, and there's nothing that really can be done. And I mean, this message is so hopeless, but at the same time, it's like I still want to talk about it in a way,
Yeah.
that might. It's really difficult to talk about this without conceding, because there's because any sessions that something can be done can concede to, or give the illusion that there is a concession, that something can be done to bring this about. But in reality, that's not the case. Like it's an undoing, really. But so how do we bring this back to politics? Well, like, or like a need to do something about the state of the country. Like you don't like. I guess like the only thing I guess what I want to say. I'm just going to say what I want to say. Um, you know, Reflect back here and see what it's actually being reflected out onto the world. Like what like if there is a stir, if there is like this a relational weight there, this causing this a sense of contraction, a sense of a person needing to do something or to be on a certain side. If there's a scene of an enemy, or
Yeah.
or someone that is different than you, if there's truly a sense that there is another there who is against you, and um, I would say, like, reflect back here, and don't be concerned with what's out there, because you'll never find the answers out there. You'll never find solutions, um, and I mean that's really all that can be done. Like no one's doing this, but at the same time, um, here it seemed like there was a lot of internal reflection. At some point, it seemed like there I couldn't trust anything that was thought anymore. Um, and it became so apparently obvious that um, I lost my train of thought. It became so obvious that this isn't what it seems like, and nothing was ever what it seemed to be. So like I don't know anything, um, um, and I can't trust what's here, what's coming up, what's being spoken, what's being thought about. Um, it was all illusory in a sense, and it couldn't be trusted anymore. And so when there is that like really like direct illumination, like it kills the seeking, like it kills that need for anything to be different, and then it's just whatever seems to be happening. Um, there's nowhere to go, because it was always this. Um,
It almost seems like it's like you begin to empathize with the feelings that are coming up in the body, as opposed to feeling an ownership over them.
mm,
Maybe like a softness,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
something that it doesn't feel so.
I think empathy, yeah, empathize is a
Driven.
good word. Yeah.
Yeah, so driven, to a response because of that.
Yeah, yeah, and for that, yeah, for there to be like empathy for that, yeah, there has to be like a complete openness and humility
Yeah.
um and a and yeah.
It feels like there can't be empathy while there's ownership.
Oh yeah, well yeah, um yeah, like authentic empathy, not for a person, but for
Right.
through the realization that everything is whole and complete. Um, but yeah, yeah. So like, I mean, I can't say there's empathy, but here, um, it seems to arise, but it's kind of lost its flavor. Like it's not for a person. Like I don't see myself as an empathetic person.
Right.
Um, it just seems to happen. Um, and it has no, it's not personal. It has nothing to do with the person or me.
Right. Right.
Um,
That's
you
what's
know,
yeah.
it could just very well just be built into the character. Like it has no reflection whatsoever on a person. No one became empathetic. Um,
Right.
so in a way, like it doesn't make me special or different or anything. Um, yeah.
Well, it does seem like a lot of the characters' efforts get in the way. I think there's a lot of
Oh yeah.
self-help books, there's a lot of self-help courses, there's a lot of teachers and gurus and so on that, sell becoming a better person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, and of course, what the person is really interested in is becoming better. Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
you could say that
Oh
that's,
yeah.
it's its whole
Yeah.
thing, right? It's seeking to gain more knowledge, to
Yeah. And
become bigger,
it's
or remove
yeah.
that which shouldn't be there and so on.
Right. Right.
But the great
Yeah.
irony of the whole affair is that all these characteristics and traits of so-called good people, those are actually, you know, uh, absences of the sense of ownership, right? It's not an increased sense of ownership that's more, delicate and refined. It's something that happens automatically when that dissipates.
Yeah.
And so the effort to become a better person is self-defeating already.
Oh,
It's just another
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just another thing that's getting in its way by trying to make it happen.
Yeah, but in this directness of just this whatever seems to be happening, like it better be doing something morally right, quote unquote, can happen. Like
Oh yeah.
it's not resisted, and it's more fully allowed too. Like there may be there may have been times before where it was resisted because it was uncomfortable to say
Hmm.
something,
Hmm.
or there was a concern or worry about like what others might think of me if I say this um, and so like there was always this kind of restriction. But like
Right.
when the sense of me drops, like there's no restriction on anything. Everything is fully allowed. Everything is just what it is, and morality can come up and arise and be free, um, and integrity can build, and quote things there's not a giving up of self improvement either, but there's no
Yeah. Right.
but it's
Well, it's a desperation for the self-improvement that makes it seem to not happen. That makes it
it's
such a
yeah
problem. Yeah.
yeah well so like everything was already happening already. So like whatever scene, this self improvement too is just happening on its own. No one is doing the improvement.
Right. There's nothing for
And,
you
and
to
I
do
can't.
about it.
There's nothing really for me to compare it to really either. Like I can't really say. It's hard for me to say that there's improvement happening. Really, there's not. Like nothing is happening. Um, but in the dream, like yeah, like there's still no sense that oh well, I'm done. I don't have to be. I don't. I
Yeah.
can ignore my moral center
Yeah.
and my integrity and be a fucking asshole.
Right.
You
I could
know.
just ignore all these faces people make when I
But
behave that
those are the
way.
ones. But maybe it does for. I don't know. Maybe it does for others. I can't say. But here, like there's still. But it's not personal. Like it's totally not personal, and it's just freed. It's freed to be what it is, and it's enjoyed. Like I really enjoyed that aspect of this character here, and um, you know, but it has nothing to do with what we're discussing either. Um, and so maybe sometimes I don't even. I think we shouldn't even be bringing it up, but
Well, I think we
uh,
can make a connection. I mean it's been pointed out by a couple of people that the desire to self-improve, right? That sense of striving, that sense of necessity, that sense of, I'm so displeased with what this is that I need to make it better. That whole effort in a large part is what, have us in so many of these seeming predicaments, like we're about, I mean, it depends who you talk to, right? But we're either about to, or we did about 40 years ago, fly off the physical limitation cliff on this planet. And, we're in this situation because we can't say no to air conditioning, you know? We can't we can't say no to myriad other things, these niceties of our modern life, right? And so,
yeah, yeah,
that is a problem that is clearly already out of control. It was never in control, right? These characters doing things, they can't change what's happening because they didn't start it, right?
yeah,
So it's not to say that I think necessarily it's the end of the world, but I do think that, it needs to be the end of of this illusion that we have, that like we really have ability with our limited minds to make things better. That's not how it works. I mean,
yeah.
really,
The mind is very limited, isn't it? Like
yeah.
yeah, and yeah. I mean, this really does like kill the mind, and like it kills the importance given to it. Like
Hmm.
it seemed to be believed here that my mind could contribute to making things better. Um, in
Right,
reality, that was an illusion. Like it's not up to me. It was never up to a me.
right.
Um,
Yeah, you reminded me of a powerful image I saw a couple of weeks ago that was, it said on the top, 100 years of psychotherapy. And on the bottom, it was just a picture of a giant, plastic waste mound washing upon the oceans.
yeah.
And I mean, therapy seems to be like the pinnacle of that effort, right? To try to
Mm,
reflect back the mind upon itself with another, and
yeah.
make things
Yeah.
better. And I mean, in
Yeah.
what sense, we just got to look at the evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, so I kind of want to say like self improvement feels like it's already built in.
Hmm.
Yeah, like it's already built into this mechanism, and when there's a get kind of a getting out of the way, then it's that's when it gets juicy. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, juicy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right.
like let go of the steering wheel because uh like you're not gonna fly into the ditch. Like it's um but that seems to be what's feared. Like and
Yes. Yeah.
it all revolves around this fear of death, and like all fear is death, is the fear of death, but
Right.
disguised, but and so like yeah, like I mean to how this can happen, I have no idea, but um honestly, like there seemed here to be like an absolute desperation, um, and a willingness to die.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I don't know like how that could happen really. Like it's not something that really happens either. But yeah,
It's not something that happens like in the realm of the experience, and so it
yeah, you
doesn't
could,
happen.
yeah, you could say that. I mean, because really, there is no real experience. Um, yeah, it's the death of the experience of a me, because it's just there's only just whatever's
Hmm.
happening without a person involved
Would
in
you say,
what's
yeah?
happening. Like
Would you say
um,
it's the end of experience?
it's just I would say it's just experience. Like there's no one experiencing anything. Um, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean it's just that it's just experience happening apparently, um, and and no real need to know why. Like the why is dead.
Mm, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the need to understand it is dead. Because it's seen for what it is, like the aliveness, like it's just fully alive, and free. Um, and so, like, why would you want to touch something that's free? Like you're almost in a way like um, confining it and bounding it, trying to bound something that's already boundless. Um, and that serves nothing. Like it it only causes a stir. I mean, it's like when a child like reaches his hand into the pool to like shake up the waves, like and and disrupt the waves that were there. Like it's just it's innocent. Like it's as innocent as that too. Like just it's just a child at play. Like the whole idea of an experience of a person um, too is just play. Like there's nothing right or wrong with it. But at the same time, there was a preference here apparently, um, to stop stirring things, and and what came about was not what was imagined. Like it could have never been imagined. Like um, I didn't imagine this. Like there's just it's the only real thing really, um, that was ever really felt in a way, but no one felt it. Um, the perception or the feeling of a me, um, was seen as completely illusory. There was no, um, it was never really real, and it just kind of opens the eyes a little, and like it gives you, and it kind of collapses everything from underneath this apparent story. Um, and it was very it was very uneasy at first, but initially it was very liberating.
Hmm.
There was a feeling of wow, like thank God, like. But at the same time, it was just kind of like oh, like I remember it felt like it just felt like an oh, that's it, like
Yeah.
oh, like it was nothing special, and yeah, yeah, it was nothing that was ever thought or imagined. Like um, there was a lot of imaginings about what it would be like because what I was looking for an experience. I was looking for another experience, an experience of enlightenment or an experience of being, a person
Right.
without a me, um, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and so, but when the O came, it was like, okay, there already is no one. There is no me. Um, there is no experience of a me. It's just what is. That's it. Um, and so, like it all everything we talk about comes back to that, like that it's just this, just what's here, what's alive, what's free, what's boundless, what's perfection. Already, all of it. It's just yeah, and I mean and it's the only it's only liberation. It's only enlightenment. It's only awakening. This whole thing. It's everything and it's nothing. Uh,
Ever
yeah,
ever blooming flower that never lives and never dies.
yeah, and it's so perfect because it's so perfect. It's blemishless. Like or what is that a word? Like
Yeah, yeah,
I want
yeah,
to say
yeah. Yeah.
blemish,
Blemishless.
blemishless. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it has no blemish. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Even in the apparent story, with all of this shit going on and this apparent chaos, like it all really is perfection already, and there's no paradox there. Like that was another thing too. Like there seemed to be like a lot of paradoxes with this when I heard this message. But when there is there is no center experiencer, it's the paradox of it all is unveiled, and there's no longer a paradox. But the problem is that we have to use words to
Mhm.
express this, but the words can never actually get to it. The words themselves are never actually what is being expressed. Um, this is it's impossible to talk about this, and so like that's why sometimes I'll encourage like when I'm talking about this for people to not even really like register this because nothing this doesn't offer anything. The words here like there's you're not going to understand this.
Right.
You're not gonna pick apart and watch this video 5 times and then finally get it. You know, so that this is worthless. Like just throw it away as soon as it's done. The words. It's more about the energy behind the words. The emptiness of the words. Um, that which that which is here that doesn't move. That which is here that is still. Um, this still perfect aliveness. This it's unchanging. There is something here that is completely unchanging. That is worth investigating, I
Mm,
guess.
mm.
And but there's no one who can investigate it. But there's no. But yeah, so like there's always like this sense of like wanting to encourage,
Right.
but there's not even like anyone to encourage anything. Um, but like I said, the energy behind the words speak for themselves. Like it's already kind of doing the work. Nobody's doing anything. Um, if there is a resonance with this message or in a resonance with how I speak about these things, that's it. Um, it's that's beautiful. That's beautiful that there's a resonance there. Absolutely beautiful. Um, this is the most beautiful message you'll ever come across. Really, like that. And what's being suggested here is so unconditional. Um, and that's what really drew me to the whole message, like just the complete unconditionalness of it, like the complete uncompromising aspect of it.
Hmm.
You know, it doesn't acknowledge anything.
Hmm.
Um, there's nowhere to go with it. Like you'll never understand it. Um, so yeah, I mean that's it. It's just this. It's just what is. There's nothing that needs to be done. No one needs to go anywhere. It's already perfect. Whether there is a sense of a person or there's a parent suffering there, that too is this. It's all perfection already. Um, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty, really.
I really liked I really like that.
Yeah.
Everything you had to say there. I think that the real freeing component, it's not even a component, is that there's no requirement to this at all. There's no,
No.
there's no need to investigate. There's no need to figure this out. There's no need
Yeah.
to grapple with it. And so you're there's a complete freedom to do that as well.
Hmm.
As much as happens wherever you are, the sense of
Yes.
seeking, the sense of longing, the sense of pain, the sense of not getting it, the sense of I finally got it, the sense of a person with no me or no me there at all. It's whatever is right here is is 100% agreeable already. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this message is that no matter where the character thinks it is, it's suffocating in its ability to wrap around that and say, no, this is where it should be. All is well. Um,
Yeah. All is
there's
well.
yeah, all is well. That's the good news.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
good news, and then
Even amongst the chaos, all is well.
right.
Yes.
There's always a storm and you're always in the eye of the storm at the same time.
Yes.
And that's where the real beauty is because then then there's the freedom for expression of whatever wants to be expressed there, without extra complication or at least with the amount of complication that's going to come up, right? Whether that's doing something with music, or it's kayaking, or it's building a house, or it's taking action and becoming politically involved, whether that's taking care of your parent when they need it, it's
Yeah.
taking care of your kid. It's just the freedom for all that to happen without any strings attached, really.
Yeah. Exactly it.
And it's not something that's, you know, intellectually profound. It's if anything, it's kind of an appreciation of the simplicity that's already here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is a lot more appreciation for that. It seems
Yeah.
like,
And I think
yeah,
that's what's real hard to let go of. Like you were saying, I think there's this tendency to imagine, being happy or being at peace is preceded by some sort of cosmic vision, where you see the whole game board and all the pieces, and you come back with this uh, supernatural knowledge or something like that. But that
yeah.
this is not that.
Yeah.
This
You
is
don't.
this is a removal of the hope for the supernatural,
Oh yeah.
you
Oh
know.
yeah. Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
not to say that weird shit doesn't happen. It most definitely does. This is the most absurd thing I think you could possibly conjure, right? But there's no separation to it. There's not normal and out there. If there's anything that's super here, it is natural.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always just this natural aliveness. Everything is natural, really.
Hmm.
Who's to say that something isn't? I mean, what do we have even that to compare that to?
Exactly.
Um,
Sorry, I argue
you
with
know,
materialists on Facebook. I need to stop doing that. It goes nowhere.
what is normal?
Yeah,
I
what is
don't know.
normal? What is material? Can you show it to me? Can you really prove cause and effect? No, but you can come with ever more elaborate, mental constructs that seem to self-reinforce it. Sure.
Mhm.
And that's free to happen. That's part of it. That's part of this whole thing. This is
Yeah, I mean, it was never like it was not like it was never meant to happen. It's not like something
right.
went wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something went wrong. That's a key phrase, I think.
yeah,
That's kind of what the sense is, when there's the seeking happening, is that something went wrong and I gotta find out what that is so I can get back to where I need to be.
yeah, absolutely. Or I need to do something to make this right.
Right.
Um, but yeah, again, like I feel like I always have to like back it up with like I'm not saying that doing the right thing doesn't happen here,
Right.
um, but that sense or need or feeling to do the right thing
Yeah.
doesn't appear like because there's no experience of doing something right or wrong. It's just what it
Yeah.
is. It's just what it is. It may happen or it may not. Um, it's not up to a me
Hmm.
whether things are done or not. It's just
Right.
there is a complete absence of that, and there's just a flow of life. A flow. It's it's oh, gosh, yeah. I'll say I don't want to say too much,
Fair.
but
It seems like if there's that, seeming recognition, it's just a loosening up. There's a loosening up of the whole organism. And in that, you know, pulling the stick out of your ass sort of thing, it does seem like there's a lot more freedom for those sort of, selfless acts, more so-called moral acts to take place. It's the mind isn't so much finding reasons why that doesn't need to happen.
yeah. Well, yeah. And well, there's no like entertaining the story of right or wrong
Hmm.
either. Like because it's seen as it's the same story. Like they're both equally illusory. Um, but yeah, like it's like I see, I understand what you're trying to convey. Um, I don't know, like I suppose um, it's really hard to say. Like it really is because what was here, what was always here, just seems to be more free to be what it already was, but it was just covered up in all these layers. Here it seemed like there was somewhat of a moral person with integrity, and but this can happen, like you said, this can happen to anyone, and there could be other, apparent characters that are complete assholes,
Yeah.
who never gave a shit about anyone or anything, and I can't say for certain whether like this has any impact on that. That character, just like, or the, and unless a lot of that, I don't know. Like I don't know. I really don't.
I know what you're
Um,
saying. I know what you're saying.
it's
Yeah.
really hard to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does seem that way. It's like you said, it does seem like so. Like I guess in certain aspects, like um, well, there's like I said, there's no more disturbing the flow of things.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you could say that is a somewhat of a more of a moral stance, or more of an integral stance, because there's just no more need to disrupt this wholeness already, because it's
Yeah.
just because it's just seen to be completely illusory and a waste of time. Or like it's not like it's not it was never going to achieve what was thought. Um,
Right.
from a position like that, I was never going to achieve what was thought to be. Um, yeah, I mean, it's never up to me. It seems as though something was handed over. Um, this sense of needing control, and needing to change things, and the more and more that like dissolves, the more open you are to allowing things to be, even if it creates like an agitation, or a sense that this is like this is kind of awful, like why, like if but at the same time, like that can't you can't apply that to everything, because like if someone is being raped in front of me, I think it's very likely that I would step in and and stop that. Yeah, shit. Like but yeah, yeah. I mean, like, it's so hard to speak about these things
Yeah.
now, like because we're just guessing. Like we don't know. Um, yeah, and talking about these things too, it can seem to paint a picture that um, that when there is this release of the story, that there is a perfect person here,
Right. Right.
who should be followed, and I should follow. Like, I mean, I still smoke cigarettes. Like, I would never recommend anybody do that.
Yeah.
And um, and like this is not about being a perfect person. Like, there's still
No.
flaws. I still make mistakes.
Yeah.
I
No.
still don't pick up on my wife's subtle cues when she wants something. I can still be a little bit arrogant. I can still be a little bit, you know, uh, not like fully there with my wife. Like I can, a lot of times, thoughts can still arise, and I'm not fully there when my wife may need me to be there. Like it's there's it's not like there's like a full sense of awareness. Um, yeah, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not like anything that was ever thought that, I mean, like there were so many stories about this, um, and they're still being shed apparently, but, um, and so, yeah, like, I mean, now it's kind of like figuring this all out now, like how to live, how to get things done, how to plan, just like it's just, it's ordinary. Like it's so ordinary now. Like, and it's nothing really special. But at the same time, there is that. It's nice to be liberated from the solidity of the story, and there's kind of just a getting back to with life,
Mm.
and it's nothing special. Like, there's no perfect person here.
Yeah.
There is no perfect person.
It's definitely not a perfect person
And
over
anyone
here.
who anyone who like gives you this impression, or leads you to believe that there's someone, perfection there, like they're lying to you. Like that's such a, um, yeah.
It does seem like when, at least in the experience over here, it does seem like when there's a less of a solidity to the story, there's more of a possibility for the future actions to change. Hmm. I think, like you said, you bring up a good point. Can you say it's good or bad? I mean, no, not really. But it does seem like it 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 sort of removes the veil on that phenomenon. And so there is an openness to seeing the true impact of what these actions are. What, regardless of
Yeah.
how the response is, it feels like there's more of an openness to, you know, wow, I just said that. You know.
Well, I suppose, like, when there is this sense of a person, there is that still that fear of death, and or fear of exposure.
Mm.
And to me,
Yeah, the overexposure is good.
it's always so. Like if there's, if there was a fear there that prevented action,
Hmm.
but there was really like a wanting to do it, like, but there was some resistance to it because of a seeming consequence, or, a feeling that it would, expose the person too much, or whatever it is. Like, if that wasn't there, if the fear is gone, like if there's no real fear, then I can see how, um, any action, that might have arose before, when it arises again, there's no more fear blocking that, and it's just allowed to arise freely. Um, so, but that, but the parent, the me never changed anything. It was already there, like that. Um, whatever was built into that character, that need, that feeling, and it's of my opinion. I don't know this, but like it is of my opinion that human beings generally want to do the right thing, or do what most want, or have come to agree upon is the right thing. You
Hmm.
know, um, we there's just less resistance there. It actually requires a lot of effort to do something wrong. Quote unquote,
Yeah.
wrong. It's just, it feels like there's more resistance there. So to do something right is really like a path of less resistance here for me. I guess that's kind of how it's seen.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that.
it's
I like
Yeah,
that.
it's not like it's not a special title. It doesn't
Right.
make us it doesn't make me special,
Yeah, you didn't
because,
like ascend or anything.
it doesn't make me a saint. Yeah, like it's just it's where the river flows freely. It's just flowing downstream here. It's as simple as that, and it's not, again, like it's nothing special to be. So there's no resisting the flow of the river anymore, and uh, and so yeah, I mean, I guess it could appear as though more moral action arises because there's just no more fear of the
Right.
consequence or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But I suppose I don't know. Like, I mean, I suppose like there might be others who have a less, quote unquote, lesser moral ground, when there is this sense of a dropping of the meaning of the story. Um, you know, that character is going to kind of play out pretty much the same, only more freely.
Right.
So like,
Which I mean, I think in every case, good or bad, that's 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 what the body wants to allow to happen, is for the character to play out how it wants to play out without these
yeah,
blockages, good or bad. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
I, he, I think what Shakespeare said, that the world is a stage. We got people, these faces, they have their part. They truly
yeah,
do. Even
yeah,
even those that we don't like, even those that we call enemies. They're just aspects of ourselves, uh, amplified and appearing out there. And so,
yeah. You were always just playing a part.
yeah.
Stop bitching about it and just play your part.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I said this in the last video, so I'll risk saying it again. What the character doesn't need is to wake up from the dream. What the character needs is to get out of its way and stop trying to crawl out of the TV screen and just play its fucking part.
Yeah, really. I mean, get back to remodeling the house. That's it.
Yeah. Get back to
You
emptying
know.
out your fucking storage unit. You're
Um,
paying $250 a month for keeping
yeah.
your books there. Come on.
If a need to arises to speak about this and create a video and have discussions with a friend, that's it. Do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Like, don't. There's no point in resisting anything. I mean, that's just kind of how it's been unveiled here. Like, there's so yeah, there's an addiction to cigarettes. That's it. There's just no real resistance to it. That it could change, but yeah, it's not up to a person or me to make any
Yeah.
decisions. Yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same time, don't that is not a what like a bypassing or um, yeah,
Well, it's not an escape hatch for the
yeah.
demon.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it's not um, a throwing away of any sort of I mean, if the feeling or need to do something arises, that's it. And there's if a feeling or reason to do nothing arises, that's it too. You can't. There's nothing you can do wrong. um, that's the freedom. Like it's you're truly just free already. It was always that way. There was just always this sense of separation, that seemed to mask this freedom. Uh,
Freedom pretending to be unfree.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, what a beauty! Like, I mean, that's so amazing. Really, like how why this would choose to be unfree like that. That's just wow. I wonder if anybody ever really listens is going to listen to this all the way through. Like I never did. Honestly, like I never did. Like when people posted these videos, I never could follow it all the way through. I might like watch 10, 15 minutes at the most, and then
Yeah.
just shut it off. But I think that's why I'm actually like a lot more excited about the dinner than I am with these videos. Um, but I love them too. Like I do. I want to keep doing them.
Yeah, I think it's just, putting something out there. I think the right people will see it.
Yeah, I mean, but there's no intention behind these. It's just there's just an enjoyment really to share this, and there is more. There does seem to be more of a wanting to engage with others, to share this. But there's no intention behind it really. Um, there's no sense that this is being shared with anyone. Um, it's just what's coming up. It's already meatless, free, and it seemed to kind of arise when there was just a release of this um, feeling that I needed permission
Hmm.
from someone,
Hmm.
um, to start speaking freely. Um, yeah, it's so funny, like how some these things, like they just keep like all these layers. They just start becoming exposed, and there was definitely like a layer here where there was like a feeling that I needed permission from a quote unquote person that I thought, that I held in high regard.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I can relate to
and
that.
there never, and there was always a frustration too when there wasn't like an acknowledgement, um,
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
could speak freely, or that I should. And there's all this bullshit out there this like that says like you should wait to speak about this before and because in a way, like I see what I see that the warnings are legitimate. At the same time, like there's no resisting what's here, what wants to come up, what wants to come out. Um, yeah, I mean it's pointless to resist anything really at this point.
Yeah. It's really when it does seem like the changeless change happens when that point is hit where there's this understanding that there's no changing this. There's no, to
Hmm.
go back to your steering wheel thing, you can take, your hands were on the wheel, but the wheel was moving itself.
Yeah. Well, it's like in the resistance of it, really, like it really does seem to persist that which is not wanted, um, or that not doing something that's really wanted. So like yeah, I mean there is like some truth to that saying, but again, like everything is that is said is it is kind of bullshit in a way because it's nothing is what it seems like, but yeah, it's really hard to say like some of these things because
It's easier when there's questions,
all
right?
I really want to do is like point to this, like this is it. Like there's just this is already freedom. It is so simple. Um, there is no need to make this into something complex, like because yeah, that complexity, that need for this to be complex is that center. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
that is that um, that need for knowledge and understanding. Um, yeah,
Seems to be, it's that need for answers. But the need for answers, of course, is in the form of the questioning, right?
yeah,
And there's always going to be, you can always come up with another question. As soon as you get an answer, well, there's two more questions. And
yeah. You
so,
could seek answers forever, and I mean
yeah,
it's actually just a loop. Like
right,
it seems like there's a timeline, where you're gathering answers and piecing things together, but really, like you're just always like in a continual loop, and
right,
it never ends. Like there's no end to the loop of seeking truth, seeking answers, seeking an understanding, more knowledge. Um, it'll just continually you're continually chasing something that's completely illusory, um, until that's fully seen for what it is. That it's just an illusion. All this chasing, all this seeking. That there was never really anyone that needed that. I mean, in order to sustain that story, it seemed as though it was needed. Very much so, like this, but that all of it was just completely illusory. Like it wasn't really real.
right.
Um, and nothing is what it seems to be. So you're never going to get it. Like, yeah, and I suppose that, I mean, there is like a longing for others to see that, or for that chasing. There's so many, it seems, there is this chasing of the tail, and again, like there's nothing wrong with it, and there's no real need for that, for anyone to see it, but at the same time, there still seems to be a preference, or like why would I want people to continue suffering? Like I wouldn't want that. Um,
Well,
I want them. I want them to come to that realization that suffering isn't real. Like there's no real. There isn't a need for that, and all that suffering is really this fear of the death of this story of a me. Um, when there was never a me there to begin with. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for that if somebody does to this book. It's probably better that it's at the end.
no,
Um, but yeah, I don't. There's that's just a lot of people don't want to speak about that. They don't want to. But yeah, but I mean, like, I understand too why it doesn't want to be spoken most of the time. Um, but it does appear to acknowledge that there is another that could be and bring something about, or that there is something to be had for a person. But I'm not speaking about something that can be had. Yeah, the only thing that's being acknowledged here is a certain sort of death.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
and when
yeah,
it truly is a death of the story, a death of the feeling or sense of being a person or in a body, and that and death means death fully. Like there's no one left after you die. Like it's and so there's just yeah, ironically enough, death is the most liberating thing. Yeah.
I mean, the interesting thing is that the suffering is already impersonal.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think addressing the suffering, it doesn't necessarily have to acknowledge, you know, a presence of a person there. I think the presence of a person, uh, I mean, it seems to act as sort of a magnifier on the suffering that's already there, and it kind of keeps it in place in a
Yeah.
sense,
Yes.
because it takes these
Yeah.
sensations from the body and it stores them in the nervous system with by means of this story and in that way is able to survive and continually be re-triggered, and come into existence, become real like Pinocchio, and then triumphs about and do all these things, ideally cause more suffering, so it can get a couple more chapters
Yeah.
into the story and get triggered a little bit more, and so on and so on. And so I think really, if I can use this word, it's kind of about maturity. And it's about coming to terms with the fact that, like you said, there's no end to this, to the narrative, to the story. It goes on forever, if there's that interest in it. Um, for a while I've known about something that's called the Munchausen trilemma, and that's a thought experiment. But, it outlines that there's three different ways that any sort of, logical proof can go. And you can just take this analogy and you can apply it to, any sort of statement that you want to enclose, right? Any sort of narrative. And the three possibilities are either what you're saying eventually devolves into being a circular argument, right? In which the proof of what you're saying presupposes the truth of it, or it's a regressive argument in which each proof requires another proof, right? Another, you could say another statement,
Yeah.
right, in the story. Or the third one, which is where you just say that's just how it is, right? You're no longer even adding any more statements. You're just saying no, that that's what I am, right? And so once you see that, you realize that you're in the midst of this thing, and you look to your right, and there's no end in sight, and you look to your left, there's also no end in sight. Yeah, what are you holding on to, right? That's really what this is about. It's already in nothing. It's already in the air. There's no beginning to your story, and there's no end to it either.
Yeah.
And I it's a pretty
Like
it's a pretty big pill to swallow.
so I feel like sometimes like there is a wanting to reflect back on the story, what the tendencies were here. There did seem to always want someone to speak or speak in a concessive way, or is that right? Like, um,
Concessionary, maybe.
yeah, concessionary way, um, because it was obvious, like there was. Well, it's obvious now that there was still this sense of a person that needed a sense of validation that I was getting it. I was reaching a sort of understanding, or it was just a story that made me feel more fulfilled, more complete. and whole to fill the void.
It made you feel
And
real.
yeah, it makes you feel real. Yeah. And so, you know, there does seem to be feel like some responsibility here to speak of this in a way that doesn't provide a concession to that story when someone is talking. And and I think a lot of the hesitancy about doing these videos is that we don't really know who's listening.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I don't know what the story that's playing out. um, and that's why I have really started enjoying doing like one-on-ones with people, and because you really kind of get into the meat of it. And and there is a tendency here to like not concede to any sort of doing for or to even to concede that there is an experience, there, to give them the impression that there is an experience of a dropping of the self, or that's personal, that's had or held, um, or I mean, it's like it's so hard to communicate the death. But so yeah, like I don't know why that's there. I mean, I've had a lot of conversations about this with others, um, and so yeah, I mean, it's funny how there's a looking back now, um, and and even with talking with others about this who are apparently seeking something, um, you do kind of tend to learn those, but like they'll grab on to anything. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's like you could like I remember like one of the last things that was grabbed onto here was the concept of this just being everything.
Wow.
Uh, that this is all there is. That it's just this. And so like that became like a whole nother story. It didn't last long, but it was, and it did seem to like become quickly seen that when it was being held on to, like that there, because like I wanted to be an observer of this. I wanted to be a part of this, or a player in this, or um, there was still that feeling or need for aliveness to be an experience. Um, and man, sometimes like these things are so subtle. It's it can go completely unnoticed. Um, but then when it's seen and revealed, then it's undeniable. Um, and so sometimes it can feel like a letdown, really. uh, like, oh fuck, like oh, it's not just this, it's just this. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you get all of these moments, like, oh, it's not the concept, it's not the words, it's the inexpressibility of just this. It's beyond this. It's prior to this. Like it was prior to the thought. Like all along, it was just, well, like you can't. At some point, like you get to a point where like I can't even express this adequately anymore. Um, and there are no words. No words. I mean, to sit here and just be still and say nothing. That's it. That's the best expression, really. Um, Really, like I mean, like all these words that are coming out through this video is just kind of a they too can be a disturbance, and so like for me, yeah, it's really hard for that energy behind the words to like it, I don't know what it is, but like I mean, you and I both felt it. Like when we go to those meetings, the energy feels more alive, more profound, more impactful, more destroying. You know, and but through the videos or like through the video meetings, uh, it doesn't have that same flavor or for whatever. I don't know what it is exactly,
Yeah, I know what you're saying
but
though. Still enjoyable though.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and if there's anyone that's still listening to this, which I would like, if there is like, and this resonates with you, like, don't feel uncomfortable reaching out to me or Blane. If they're, uh, we would both love to, speak with you. We both love talking about this, and um, there's not going to be anything of real value for us to give, um, but if there is that feeling or need to reach out, there's no point in resisting that either. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't want to give you that, extend that permission to do that, and that does seem to happen here, throughout this apparent journey, and it was nice. It was nice having someone to talk to, um, just in the same way that it would be nice to have someone sitting next to you in the hospice bed. Like it's that person is not going to aid you in any way in your death. They might bring you some comfort or hold your hand and tell you it's going to be okay, and that's really all that can be done. Really, it's the same. It really is the same. Like there's nothing that I can say that's going to bring about your death or bring about or not bring about your death. Like it's it may happen or it may not. Like it's not up to anyone. Um, but if there is a resonance with this, then um, you're in the lion's mouth. There's no escape. Like if you resonate with this, there's no escape at this point. Like um, there's no going back. Sorry.
Well, I'll say you're in some good company. Uh,
Yeah. Time is it?
oh, it's about 8:55 for me.
Well, you want to say anything to wrap this up?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I think Chris and I are kind of exploring and figuring out what this is as far as the video thing. And if you're still watching it this far, thanks. Definitely feel open and like you have permission to reach out to either of us. And y- whatever's happening over there is definitely what is supposed to be happening. I
Yeah.
promise. Uh, And
Yeah.
I guess on that, until next time, we'll see y'all on the flippy flop.
All right. Beautiful, man. Yeah. I think we're getting better at this.